Single mom reveals heartwarming drawings of CEO's car. Discover the incredible change that follows. In the small Midwestern town of Willow Creek, the sun shone like a promise, warming the hearts of its residents even as shadows lingered. For Linda, a single mother in her late 30s, the warmth was both a blessing and a challenge. She worked 2 jobs, tirelessly hustling from her day shift as a waitress to her job as a cleaner at night. But her biggest joy always came from her spirited 10-year-old daughter, Emma. With wide, curious eyes and an imagination that soared higher than the sky, Emma filled their modest home with laughter and dreams of becoming an artist. On one warm Saturday, the annual Community Arts Festival burst to life, transforming the town into a kaleidoscope of colors, sounds, and exhilaration. Kids darted around with delight, adults chatted amiably, and everyone felt the heartbeat of togetherness. Emma, clutching her half-finished sketchbook, was swept up in the euphoria. Inspired by the flurry of creativity, she plopped down in front of a shiny, ostentatious car that belonged to Mr. Thompson, the downtown CEO. Armed with her colored pencils, Emma began to sketch a whimsical version of the vehicle, her artistic flair bubbling to the surface. As Emma drew, onlookers soon gathered, captivated by her vivid imagination. Faces glowed with wonder and awe. Those that had once dismissed a child's art suddenly recognized the raw talent unfolding before their eyes. Emma's smile was contagious, her joy radiating brighter than the midday sun. The world dissolved around them, it was just Emma and her art. "Wow, that's incredible!" one child exclaimed as Emma added another splash of color. Then Mr. Thompson himself noticed. Dressed in his crisp suit, he approached with genuine amazement etched across his face. "Young lady, you have a gift," he exclaimed, kneeling beside her sketch. And then, in a stunning turn of events, he offered to sponsor her art supplies. The crowd erupted with applause, their cheers mingling with Emily's bubbling laughter. But a twinge of unease danced in Linda's heart. Accepting charity felt like admitting defeat, a personal failure that clawed at her pride. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. As murmurs buzzed through the crowd, the atmosphere shifted. Some folks whispered about the unfairness of Mr. Thompson's proposal, claiming it widened the divide between rich and poor. Linda watched tensions flare as neighbors grappled with their unvoiced frustrations. They were a community caught in the middle of differing aspirations and stark realities. Just then, Linda received a call that sent her heart racing and her chest tightening. Her elderly mother was ill, and mounting medical bills loomed like dark clouds over her already strained existence. In that moment, the prospect of accepting help from Mr. Thompson, once rejected in her mind, began to feel unbearably heavy. With the festival fading into chaos around her, Linda felt torn between maintaining her dignity and ensuring her family's needs. As she looked at Emma, beaming with pride, the weight of her choices bore down upon her. Would she sacrifice her pride or risk missing the opportunity that could change their lives? The path ahead grew darker, but deep down, a flicker of hope began to light the way, urging her towards a choice that could redefine their futures. Linda stood frozen, clutching her phone tightly, the world around her dulling to a background hum. Emma's laughter rippled through the air, bright and innocent, yet it pushed the weight of reality deeper into her chest. All around, people admired Emma's quirky rendition of the CEO's car, but doubts shouted louder in Linda's mind. Would agreeing to Mr. Thompson's generosity tarnish their hard-won pride? "Mom, look! I'm going to name it the Dream Machine," Emma exclaimed, pulling Linda back into the vibrant festival. Her daughter's eyes sparkled with creativity and hope. In that moment, Linda felt a pull, a reminder of why she had worked tirelessly to provide for Emma, to nurture that spark. It's beautiful, sweetheart, Linda said softly, forcing a smile. But deep down, she battled with the fear that this moment could eclipse the integrity she had instilled in her daughter. The lively chatter blended with the strains of local musicians playing nearby, creating an intoxicating atmosphere. Linda spotted some neighbors casting slightly judgmental glances toward Mr. Thompson, their whispers reinforcing a feeling that she could only describe as a chill in the air. The bravado of the festival contrasted sharply with her internal struggle. Still holding the phone tightly, she made her way to a quieter spot, glancing back at Emma who was showing her sketch to an elderly woman. The woman clutched her heart, visibly moved. Linda longed for that happiness, but it felt out of reach, like a cloud of mist hiding the sun. As she sat on a park bench, she could almost feel Mr. Thompson's gaze, his curious admiration that alone made her uncomfortable. She had spent years teaching Emma the value of hard work, the worth of earning one's way. With every passing moment, the call from the hospital flashed in her mind. More than anything, she wanted to shield Emma from the struggles ahead, wanting her to remain carefree and immersed in her art. But the bills were climbing. Just then, Mr. Thompson appeared at her side. "Are you all right?" he asked gently, his tone different from what she expected. It wasn't condescension but genuine concern. I'm okay," she stumbled over the words. "It's just, this is a lot." He nodded, as if he understood the weight of her concerns, and she sensed he wished to ease them. "I saw your daughter's artwork. She has a bright future. Supporting that talent feels right." His sincerity caught Linda off guard. "But it worries me," she hesitated, choosing her words carefully. "I don't want handouts. I want her to earn it, and to know the value it holds. Sometimes allowing others to help is a gift in itself. You're teaching her strength in different ways. Think of the message you'd send: true success isn't just about struggle, it's also about community." His words hit like raindrops on parched ground, awakening something inside her. As she pondered his perspective, the world around her seemed to blur even further. But, before she could voice her thoughts, an announcement echoed through the festival, grabbing everyone's attention. "Attention, everyone! A surprise raffle is about to begin, and the grand prize is a scholarship to the best art school in the state." Linda's heart raced. Emma's artistic dreams could reach new heights. But would she be able to take that leap? Facing the swirling doubt, she cast her gaze toward Emma, who was now jumping with excitement. Could this new opportunity open doors for them both? Or would it merely highlight everything that felt out of reach? As the crowd buzzed with anticipation, Linda felt the tide of change coming, and with it, she knew a decision loomed, one that could transform their lives. "Mom?" Emma's voice broke through the commotion. "What do you think? Should we enter?" Linda took a deep breath, grappling with the moment, her world spinning into a whirlwind of hopes and responsibilities. Would she take the leap into the unknown? Would she let Emma dream? As the first ticket was drawn, the air was thick with possibility, and Linda realized the next chapter of their journey was about to unfold. Would she step forward, unafraid, into a realm where helping hands and pride could coexist? The crowd erupted in cheers as the first ticket was called. Linda's heart thundered in her chest, and she instinctively turned to Emma, whose eyes were shining like stars. "Can we, Mom? Please?" Emma's voice was both a plea and an invitation to dream. Linda felt a weight settle on her shoulders, almost like a quilt made heavy with memories and responsibilities. Could she dare to step into this chance for Emma? Each heartbeat echoed with the tension of her choices. Just a few months ago, attending such a festival had seemed a luxury. Now, standing here, involved in this bubbling moment, it felt surreal. "What if I win?" Emma chimed, buoyed by hope. "It could change everything. I can show them my art." The child's eagerness was infectious. The way her face lit up was a mirror of their hopes for a brighter future. Linda's own dreams intertwined with Emma's, each one raising vulnerable questions about their world together, but there was still doubt nagging at her. Would winning a prize change Emma? Would it set her on a path paved by shortcuts rather than the honest grind Linda believed in? Okay, Linda said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. Let us enter. Each word felt heavy, yet liberating, like climbing the highest peak only to see a world of possibilities below. Emma squealed in excitement, bouncing up and down. Yes. I can't believe it. She grabbed her mom's hand and pulled her toward the booth where they could enter the raffle. As they stood in line, an elderly gentleman beside them spoke. You know, the best artists are often the ones most willing to embrace help and guidance, he said kindly, nudging Linda with a knowing smile. Take the leap. These opportunities are there for a reason. Linda processed his words. Embracing community. Accepting support. Leaning into the help of others. It felt foreign, yet somehow exciting. The world of art was not just an individualistic venture. It was a tapestry woven with threads from many hands. When it was their turn to enter, Linda wrote down their details carefully. She felt Emma's surge of energy beside her, the electric thrill of exciting possibilities. The drawing would take place soon, but her heart and mind were already racing with more than just hope. They were filled with a taste of unity. Mom, can we grab some cotton candy after this? Emma's innocent query pulled Linda from her thoughts. Of course. Anything you want, sweetheart, Linda replied, grinning. The festival was a swirl of colorful moments, laughter, and chatter. For the first time that day, the doubts didn't feel overwhelming. She could see how this day, this chance, could lead to new paths. The next ticket was drawn. And the winner is. The announcer's voice boomed over the chatter, each syllable electrifying the crowd with suspense. Linda grabbed Emma's hand tight as they both held their breaths. Parker Thompson. The announcer concluded, and Linda's heart sank for a moment. But as she glanced over at Mr. Thompson, who stood up with pure delight, she also saw the true spirit of generosity shining through. He wasn't just a distant CEO, he was part of their community. Clapping filled the air, yet Linda felt something unexpected bloom within her. As the crowd celebrated, she knelt and whispered to Emma. Maybe this isn't over yet. Mom, what do you mean? Linda smiled back, a stirring sense of courage filling her. Well, if Mr. Thompson can support the art community, perhaps we can get involved too. There's strength in collaboration. Emma's eyes lit up once more. Yeah. We can do this together. With her heart pounding, Linda realized that this was just the beginning, not the end, and the possibility echoed within her, gaining strength with each passing moment. Linda caught a glimpse of Mr. Thompson's supportive smile in the crowd. Perhaps, just perhaps, they were on the brink of something much greater than either had imagined. But then, as they turned to leave the booth, Linda's phone buzzed in her pocket. The hospital. A sinking feeling replaced the excitement, and she remembered the reality waiting for them just outside. This festival. Would she be able to balance it all? Should she dare to dream with Emma when uncertainties loomed? As she stepped away with Emma, the thought lingered in her mind, what if embracing change meant embracing more than hope? The path ahead seemed labyrinthine, yet a faint light beckoned. Would this day truly change everything? Would the next moments shape their future in ways they never expected? Linda's heart raced as she fished her phone from her pocket, the unknown number looming large like a storm cloud darkening the sun. She hesitated, staring at the screen, willing herself to answer. Emma's little fingers tugged on her sleeve, pulling her back toward the laughter and vitality of the festival. Mom, are you okay? Emma's voice was laced with concern, her eyes searching Linda's face. The spark that had lit Emma's eyes earlier felt dimmer, overshadowed by the weight of the moment. Yeah, sweetie, I'm fine, Linda said, forcing a smile. Just a work thing. Let us grab that cotton candy. They wove their way through the group, the scent of sweet sugar quickly overwhelming the worries swirling in Linda's mind. Yet, the phone buzzed again, intensifying her anxiety. She had promised herself a break today before the hospital called, before the endless bills piled up, before even the dream of Emma's art floated into their lives. But now? Now everything felt more tangled than before. As they settled down on a wooden bench with the fluffy pink treat, Emma's laughter echoed around them. It was infectious. Her small mouth was smeared with sugar, and she was devouring the cotton candy with an abandon that warmed Linda's heart. For a moment, everything else faded. "Look, Mom. I'm a cotton candy princess." Emma spun in circles, her dress twirling and the bright colors blending into a beautiful blur. It was a reminder that despite their challenges, there were still moments of pure joy, moments that felt light and free, but soon enough, the moment lingered, heavy in the air. That call loomed. Linda took a deep breath, trying to ease the tension knotting her stomach. Suddenly, she remembered Mr. Thompson again, the warmth and generosity in his smile, the way he gave back to their community. Her mind raced back to his words. Embrace help. Lean into support. "Emma," she said, the idea percolating in her mind, "you remember Mr. Thompson? The gentleman who won today?" "Uh-huh." Emma twirled to a stop, eyes wide with interest. What if we went and shared your art with him? You know, maybe he could help us too." Emma's face transformed, excitement bubbling up. "Really? Do you think so? That would be amazing." She jumped up, practically vibrating with enthusiasm. Linda bit her lip, the heart of a mother both hopeful and terrified. "Well, we could at least try. I need to figure out how to approach him. It's just like submitting my drawings for the contest. We can do this together. Right, Mom?" Emma beamed up at her, a mirror of determination. Linda's heart swelled. Yes. Together. And suddenly the festival didn't just feel like an escape, it represented possibility. It wasn't just a day of fun, it was the beginning of a venture that could change their lives. As they finished the last bites of sugary delight, Linda's phone buzzed yet again. This time, she couldn't ignore it. She glanced at the screen and her breath hitched. It was the hospital, calling her back to reality. But before she could answer, the familiar voice of Mr. Thompson wafted through the nearby crowd. "Does everyone know how transformative art can be?" He spoke passionately to a small group gathered around him. "It's more than just a paintbrush on a canvas, it's a way of connecting. It's a voice for those who may not otherwise be heard." Linda's pulse quickened. Perhaps this was the very moment she had been waiting for. Emma pulled on her hand, eyes wide with awe, both mother and daughter caught in a sudden web of inspiration. "Should we go talk to him?" Emma whispered, practically bouncing. "Let us wait just a moment," Linda replied, uncertainty swirling within her. The festival felt charged with energy, and with each word from Mr. Thompson, the doubts began to unravel. Could this be the turning point they needed? Would they truly dare to take this leap into the unknown? As the crowd laughed and cheered around them, Linda felt her grip on Emma's hand tighten. What if today could weave their dreams into something tangible? She inhaled deeply, her heart echoing with a mix of dread and excitement. Would she have the courage to step forward, to share their story? With anticipation thrumming in the air, Linda knew she was standing at a crossroads. Would drawing closer to Mr. Thompson change everything? As she opened her mouth to speak, the question lingered in the air, ripe with possibility. The words caught in Linda's throat, 1,000 thoughts racing through her mind. Emma looked up at her with those big, hopeful eyes, and Linda's resolve began to harden. Before she could second-guess herself, she nodded vigorously. "Okay, let us go." They crossed through the gathering crowd, the sounds of laughter and joy fading momentarily as Linda focused on Mr. Thompson. He radiated warmth, standing there with his hands animatedly explaining the meaning behind art as a form of expression. Linda could feel her heart pounding harder, each step feeling heavier yet exhilarating. "Excuse me," she called out, her voice barely piercing through the din of the festival. Mr. Thompson turned to face them, and for a moment, everything seemed to still around them. It was just the three of them, Linda, Emma, and the man whose generosity could alter the course of their lives. Emma clambered forward, tugging at Linda's hand as if to nudge the words out. "Mr. Thompson. I'm Emma, and I love to paint." The CEO's eyes lit up like the bright colors of Emma's dress. "Well, hello there. I see a young artist in the making. What do you like to paint?" Her enthusiasm poured out, like sunshine breaking through a cloudy sky. "I love painting things that are colorful and happy. Like flowers and butterflies. But sometimes, I draw things that make me feel." Emma paused, her brow scrunching as she thought hard. "Things that make me feel not so good." Mr. Thompson knelt down, bringing himself to Emma's eye level. "That's a powerful thing to do. Art isn't just about capturing beauty, it's also about sharing our feelings and experiences. It can heal us." "You really think so?" Emma asked, her voice trembling slightly with excitement and vulnerability. "Absolutely," Mr. Thompson replied, his tone warm and sincere. "Every piece of art tells a story, and yours can share your journey with the world." Linda felt pride welling up in her as she watched her daughter open up. Then she took a deep breath, making the plunge. "Mr. Thompson, we've faced some tough times lately. I'm wondering if you'd be willing to take a look at Emma's artwork? We'd love your feedback and maybe even some guidance." He straightened up, looking at Linda with an understanding that wrapped around her like a hug. "Of course, I'd be happy to. I believe that art can be a beacon of hope, especially in hard times. Let's find a quiet spot to chat." As they moved to a quieter area filled with fragrant flowers and fluttering butterflies, Linda felt the tension in her shoulders start to ease. She couldn't remember the last time someone so influential showed this kind of sincere interest in them. Emma began retrieving a small stack of drawings from her backpack, her fingers trembling in excitement and nerves. Each piece was a glimpse into Emma's whimsical world, the vivid colors blending into scenes of joyful sunlight and thoughtful shadows. They were filled with emotions that even the simplest brushstrokes conveyed better than words. By the time Emma unveiled a drawing of their modest home under a radiant sun, Linda felt tears brim in her eyes. This wasn't just a drawing, it was Emma's way of capturing love, resilience, and hope. Mr. Thompson studied each drawing, nodding thoughtfully. "You have a gift, Emma. Your work already has a voice. We need to let it speak louder." Linda caught her breath, her heart pounding at the thought. Could this mean Emma might actually find a way to showcase her art? Could Mr. Thompson be the key to opening doors? The possibilities felt surreal, yet full of hope. "Would you like to hold a little exhibition?" he proposed, still examining the drawings. Emma gasped in surprise, her tiny body practically vibrating. "I can help you set it up." "Can we really?" Emma squeaked, looking up at her mother for confirmation. Linda exchanged a look with Mr. Thompson, a mixture of disbelief and excitement flooding her senses. "Yes," she whispered, overwhelmed with emotion, but just as relief washed over her, the terrifying weight of reality crept back in. What if they failed? What if this was all just a dream? "Thank you for believing in us," Linda finally managed to say, her voice trembling. "That means more than you know." "Believe me," he said with a warm smile, "art and connection are powerful forces. We'll do this together." As their conversation flowed, Linda felt the barriers in her heart give way. For the first time in a while, she allowed herself to envision a future where she and Emma could thrive, not just survive. But everything felt so fragile, and the uncertainty lingered as they made their plans. What would happen when reality threatened to pull them back down? Still processing the whirlwind unfolding before them, a new message flashed on Linda's phone. She glanced at it, the familiar hospital number staring back, and her heart dropped. She felt the ground beneath her shift. Would everything they were about to embark on soon be overshadowed by fear again? Just as hope ignited, Linda faced the reality of their struggle and everything felt uncertain once more. The moment was electric, as if the world around them held its breath. Linda stared at her phone, the little light blinking insistently, the reminder of the hospital looming large. This was it. Life's heavy hand tugging her back from the brink of joy. Her heart raced, the looming fears creeping in, overshadowing the shimmer of possibility Mr. Thompson offered. "What's wrong?" Emma's small voice cut through Linda's frantic thoughts. She looked down, seeing the innocence and raw hope in her daughter's eyes. It was enough to pull her back from the edge. Because here, right in this moment, they had hope. "Nothing, sweetie. Just a message." Linda forced a smile, wishing her heart would catch up with her face. She couldn't let the fear consume them now. Not when Emma was buzzing with excitement. "Mr. Thompson, can we, talk more about the exhibition? I want to hear your ideas." The CEO's brow furrowed for a moment, concern flashing in his eyes, but he nodded, refocusing. "Of course. Let us plan something beautiful that reflects not just your art, Emma, but your journey as well." Emma jumped a little in place, throwing a glance at her mother as if waiting for approval. Linda nodded, feeling the thrill of emerging possibility push against her rising stress. If they could just get through this, step by small step. "What kind of exhibition?" Emma asked, her excitement spilling over. Mr. Thompson chuckled, his deep voice spreading warmth. "We could set it in the community center. Invite some local artists, maybe even set up a little art class along with it, give you a chance to show your talent and meet other creators." Linda felt her breath hitch. The community center. It was close, familiar yet new. That could work. It's a perfect place for people to come together. The warmth in Mr. Thompson's gaze soothed her racing heart. Not just about selling art. This exhibition could be about sharing stories, healing through creativity. I can see it now, people connecting that way. Emma's face lit up, infectious hope spilling from her. "We can paint a huge mural. Something really colorful." "Yes. And we can work together on it," Mr. Thompson encouraged, his enthusiasm growing. "You can express everything that's inside you." For a moment, time slipped away. Linda watched as Emma began gesticulating wildly, her words tumbling out with excitement. "And we could have a little corner where kids can draw. Mom, can we? Please. Can we? Seeing that spark in Emma's eye made Linda's heart swell. They could create a space of happiness, a retreat from what life was throwing at them. But her phone buzzed again, dragging her back into her swirling thoughts. Just one glance, the hospital had texted again. This time, it felt like the walls were closing in. The next appointment. The fear of uncertainty. She bit her lip, wrestling with the clash of hope and dread. "Linda?" Mr. Thompson's voice pulled her back again. "Are you okay?" She straightened up, determined to shake it off. "Absolutely. Just thinking about everything. I want this for Emma." The wavering in her voice betrayed her. Mr. Thompson looked at her, studying her intently. "Just remember, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. You're not alone in this." It was like a weight had been lifted, yet another burden released into the universe. Linda nodded, the fierce protector in her thankful for the gentle reminder. With renewed determination, she pushed aside the daunting clouds swirling over her future. "Let us do this. Let us plan the exhibition." "Yeah." Emma chimed in, jumping up and down. "I want to show everyone how amazing art can be." As they began brainstorming, sketching ideas in the air, laughter spilled from Emma, filling their little circle with light. It felt like they could conquer the world if only for that moment, but the notification still lingered, the unease simmering beneath their newfound joy. Could this little glimmer of hope withstand the shadows they were battling? Linda stole another glance at her phone and felt herself falter again. What awaited them when they returned to reality? When the looming risks clashed with their dreams? The festival continued around them, but Linda's heart raced with the unknown. As laughter mingled with whispers, she felt a familiar knot forming in her stomach. Would the chance to redefine their lives truly take root? Or would the shadows find a way to creep back in? Linda tried to shake off the discomfort gnawing at her insides as the festival buzzed around them. The vibrant colors of kites danced overhead, uplifting spirits amidst the laughter, yet her heart remained weighed down by the reminder of the hospital. She fought against the pressure building in her chest but stood firm beside Emma, who radiated determination. "Mom! I want to add a splash of purple to the mural," Emma exclaimed, her hands darting through the air, tracing invisible lines like a painter with an imaginary brush. The art world seemed infinite to her, filled with colors and joy, and part of Linda couldn't help but be swept away by her daughter's passion. "Yes. Let us make it as colorful as your imagination," Linda responded, buoying herself with Emma's infectious energy. Maybe this is what they needed, a project to keep them connected, to remind them of their boundless potential. As ideas flowed and laughter bubbled, the shadows threatened to linger at the edges. Linda glanced at her phone again, but Emma noticed. "Mom, can we focus on the art now? I want to surprise everyone with how bright it can be." Okay. No more phone," Linda smiled, tucking her device into her pocket as if sealing away her worries. They started throwing out ideas, sketches forming in their minds, and with Mr. Thompson's help, their plans seemed to solidify an exhibition filled with laughter, creativity, and healing. Hours flew by as they doodled on napkins and sketched on scraps of paper. Each artistic idea ignited a spark in them, burning brightly, pushing aside the uncertainty outside their bubble. "What if we have a section where people can tell their stories?" Mr. Thompson suggested, his voice warm. "Art speaks, and stories heal. Like a story wall," Emma shouted, her eyes wide with inspiration. "We can hang up drawings and stories from everyone in the community. So it's about them too." Linda felt tears prick her eyes again. This was something greater than just art. It was about connection, healing together, but then reality flickered across her thoughts, a reminder that this wouldn't erase their struggles. What if something goes wrong? Linda whispered, barely allowing herself to voice such fears. "We take it one step at a time, Linda," Mr. Thompson said, his gaze steady and reassuring. "You're stronger than you think. Believe in this journey. It's not just for Emma, it's for all of us." Emma nodded fiercely, "and for everyone who needs to feel like they belong." "Right, Mom?" The warmth of her daughter's words washed over Linda, and for the first time in a long time, there was a flicker of hope. Could this truly be a new beginning? But just then, the phone buzzed again in her pocket, a harsh reminder of the looming reality. Ignoring it felt impossible. She pulled it out, dread coiling back around her. The words on the screen sent a spike of panic through her. Another appointment reminder, and this one came with a warning. "Oh," Linda said softly, wondering if her optimism had been a naive shield. I don't. Mom?" Emma's voice broke through her spiraling thoughts. "I'm okay, she paused, looking at her daughter's eager face. "I'm just trying to figure it all out. But we have this plan. Right?" Emma's little voice wavered, the hope in her eyes now tempered with doubt. "Yes, we do." But the conflict inside Linda surged like a tide, threatening to pull her under again, the shadows creeping closer. "Mom, we can do it. I believe in us." Emma insisted, her tiny hand reaching for her mother's, anchoring her. Suddenly, the weight of the world felt lighter in that brief moment of connection. Still, the true battle of balancing hope and reality loomed large in her mind. Would the exhibition spark a light in their lives, or would the challenges they faced extinguish it before it fully bloomed? The festival buzzed around them, vibrant and alive, but Linda's heart tightrope walked between fear and hope. How much could they truly carry? As she looked at Emma, her heart raced, caught between the excitement of possibility and the dread of the unknown, and with every heartbeat, that question echoed louder: what would happen when the shadows inevitably returned? The sun hung low in the sky, casting a warm golden hue over the festival grounds. Linda felt that warmth seep into her skin, a gentle reminder that amid the chaos, there was still beauty. But the uncertainty gnawed at her, threading itself through the threads of hope she had begun to weave with Emma. Let's start with the colors, okay? You said purple was first. Emma chirped, breaking the silence. Her enthusiasm was a lifeline for Linda, who watched as her daughter dashed toward an empty patch of wall, all bright eyes and eager hands. Right. Purple it is. Linda replied, forcing herself to match her daughter's energy. As she knelt beside Emma, dipping her brush into the paint, she felt a flicker of joy. The act of creation just this moment with Emma was a balm for her restless heart. You have such a great idea, sweetie, she added, encouragingly. As they began to splash color across the mural, laughter and chatter of festival-goers surrounded them. The sound of children playing, vendors promoting their crafts, and music flowing through the air became a sweet melody. Yet, each laugh reminded Linda of the loved ones in the hospitals, people who were perhaps missing out on days like this. Can I share the first story, Mom? Emma asked, breathlessly. Linda nodded as Emma grabbed a piece of paper from the pile they had stacked aside. She drew a line, what looked like sun's radiating warmth, and began to write. This one is about Ms. Johnson, Emma said, beaming. She always tells me to draw what I feel. I want everyone to know that her smile makes us all feel like sunshine. Her innocent proclamation brought fresh tears to Linda's eyes. That's beautiful, Emma. And it was. Here was her little girl, finding strength from those around her in their weak moments. We all have a light to share, don't we? Yup. Just like you, Mom, Emma replied, her eyes sparkling. You keep shining even when it's hard. That struck deep within Linda. Yes, sometimes she felt dimmed beneath the weight of their struggles. But in Emma's bright words, there was a truth awakening. She needed to show Emma that she could keep shining, even amidst the shadows that loomed. As they painted and shared stories, people began to drift over to join, intrigued by the infectious energy surrounding Emma and Linda. Soon, others joined in, adding their colors, each carrying their own stories. It became more than painting, it was a community unveiling their experiences through art. However, Linda's phone buzzed again in her pocket, interrupting the flow of joy. She hesitated but quickly pulled it out, concern creeping back in. This time, it was a message from her sister who was also checking in on their father's condition. Hey! They want him to come back for more tests, it read, and for a moment, Linda's heart dropped. What's wrong, Mom? Emma asked, recognition of her mother's change echoing in her voice. Nothing. Just family stuff, Linda said, forcing a smile, though it felt like a mask. Can I read the next story? Emma's voice was gentle, but Linda felt the weight of her anxiety pressing down. Of course, sweetheart, she replied, her voice cracking just slightly. But Emma, oblivious to the tension, beckoned the nearby kids to join them, eager to share their stories with the world. While they painted together, a sense of purpose surged in Linda and shifted the balance of her fears and hopes. This mural was something special, it represented more than just colors on a wall. It was their arrow pointing toward healing, connecting them to the community that stood around them. Still, doubt nagged at her. How would this project stand against the storms that awaited her, the medical news she couldn't ignore? Just as the mural filled with laughter and vibrant swirls of paint, a darkness began to loom again, but this time it held a different energy. Linda felt poised at the edge of a turning point. Could she truly embrace this connection, as she watched Emma high-five a child who had just shared her own story about overcoming shyness. Linda found herself pondering what if embracing this collective journey would help them find their way, even if the shadows returned. Taking a breath, she dipped her brush back into the colors that glimmered in front of her, ready to paint with renewed purpose. What would happen when this burst of community art was greeted by the stark realities of life waiting at home? Would it strengthen their bond, or would the shadows cast their doubts again? The laughter swelled around Linda as they added vibrant streaks of orange and yellow, splashing joy onto the previously blank wall. Emma giggled, her face smeared with paint, while nearby kids shouted animatedly, creating a whirlwind of creativity. Each stroke pulled Linda deeper into the moment, but just beneath the surface, anxiety bubbled, a gnawing reminder that life continued to spin with all its chaos. "Mom, look!" Emma yelled, drawing Linda from her thoughts. She turned to see her daughter showcasing a bold sun the size of a soccer ball. Its rays stretched outward, as if embracing the world. "Is it okay?" Linda felt warmth envelop her heart. "It's perfect. Just like you." Her words brought a radiant smile to Emma's face, and for a moment, the weight of their circumstances slipped away. Linda painted alongside the children, tapping into the spirit of the festival. Each brush stroke seemed to lighten the air, as if color had magical properties. As the mural took shape, voices intertwined, sharing tales, laughter, and sometimes moments of silence as everyone worked to express themselves. But just then, another buzz. Her phone vibrated once more. Taking a deep breath, Linda steeled herself for the worst. As she glanced down, the latest message from her sister read, "The tests are concerning." That familiar tightness gripped her chest again, the way it always did whenever thoughts of her dad invaded. "Mom?" Emma's alert voice pulled her back to the moment. "Are you okay?" Linda plastered on a bright smile, tucking her phone away. "Yeah. Just different colors mixing in my head." She quickly motioned to the mural, to the vibrant creations blossoming around them. "See how beautiful this is?" Emma's eyes sparkled with understanding, a mirror of her mother's determination. "You're right, Mom. It can be a rainbow." The energy of the group surged as they continued adding stories and colors, until an unexpected visitor approached. The sight of Marcus, the festival coordinator, his broad shoulders proudly filled with a white apron, shifted the mood. "Excuse me, artist. Mind if I join this masterpiece?" Linda opened space for him, curious to see what this man, always busy coordinating events, could contribute. He picked up a brush that was a mix of blue and green colors that reminded Linda of twilight. "I heard about your project," Marcus said, nodding toward their mural. "You're capturing something incredible here. Can I tell my story while I paint?" "Yes, please," Emma exclaimed, her excitement palpable. As Marcus began to paint, his strokes were confident, deliberate. "This is for my sister. She's been stuck in the hospital recovering from surgery. Painting always helped her cope." His voice carried the weight of emotion, but encapsulated it in beauty. "She taught me to find hope in the smallest things, like a blooming flower in a concrete jungle." Linda's heart swelled. His story struck every ounce of resolve deep within her. What a whirlwind standpoint community amidst struggle. The shared vulnerabilities acted like glue, bonding this motley crew of individuals, slathering their own stories and troubles over the mural as if it provided a bridge. "Let us write her name here," Emma yelled, pointing to a blank space under their tree of lives. "Then we can paint flowers around it." Linda nodded. "That's a great idea." As they wrote Sarah in bright letters, Marcus shared laughter and stories while painting daisies and roses. The atmosphere pulsed with energy, yet all Linda could think about was the shadows that continually lingered at the edges of her thoughts. The phone buzzed again, but this time, she tucked it back in her pocket without looking. The mural danced with colors, the community flourished, and this was where she wanted to be. Here, under the warm sun, surrounded by artists of all ages, emotions collided into a beautiful mess, could this moment, alive with creativity and spirit, carry her through when the shadows cast their longest? A nagging question loomed: what if the connection she felt faded when faced with unyielding reality, as she squeezed more paint onto her brush, she resolved to let the colors speak. More stories awaited what other journeys would be woven into this mural of hope. As the last brushstroke faded into a vibrant sunset, Linda stepped back and marveled at what had come to life before her eyes. The mural reflected not just their individual stories but the resilience of the community surrounding Emma and her. Each color, each word, each drawing told a stories of struggle, hope, and healing. Emma stood beside her, beaming with pride. "Look, Mom. We did this together. It's like we made magic." Magic indeed. Linda felt her heart swell with joy as she exchanged glances with Emma and the community, now all gathered around to admire what they had collectively created. She could see in their faces a shared understanding, a bond that transformed them from mere neighbors into a family woven together by art and dreams. Then, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an orange glow over the artwork, Mr. Thompson stepped forward. "This mural is a testament to the strength and spirit of Willow Creek," he announced, his voice breaking slightly with emotion. "I'm proud of each one of you for sharing not just your talent, but your stories." Claps erupted among the crowd, and an electric atmosphere buzzed in the air. Emma waved excitedly, her laughter ringing clear like bells in celebration. Linda couldn't help but join in. Each applause filled a gap in her heart that had been aching for far too long. Then, a familiar figure pushed through the crowd. Marcus, with his apron still stained with paint. "I've gathered everyone who contributed," he said, excitement dancing in his eyes. "Let us seal this day with a community celebration. A potluck. We can share our favorite dishes and stories." Cheers erupted again. Community. Her heart knew this was what they needed. As the potluck began, tables filled with homemade dishes began to form, laughter bubbled, and children darted between adults, carrying plates of delicious food. Linda watched as Emma joined a group of kids, all of them sharing colorful tales while nibbling on cotton candy. "Mom." Emma tugged at Linda's sleeve. "You have to try Mrs. Johnson's cookies. They explode with flavor." Linda grinned, her anxieties temporarily forgotten. "All right, but only if you let me have a bite of your cupcake first." As they traded bites of sweet treats, each mouthful tasted not just of sugar, but of connection. The laughter, the warmth, the way the community wrapped around them like a blanket brought a peace she hadn't felt in ages. But deep down, the shadow still flickered at the edges of her mind. She felt the pull of reality, her silent battle waiting on that phone, the hospital. She had put it off, desperately trying to enjoy this moment. Just as she was about to slide away to check her messages, Mr. Thompson approached. "Linda," he said, lowering his voice slightly, "I've been talking to others about how we can continue this community initiative. We can provide more art supplies, workshops, even a mentorship program. Emma's talent should be nurtured, shared." Linda's chest filled with an undeniable warmth, and her heart raced. This was more than just support, it was a lifeline for Emma's dreams and a step towards providing for their futures. "That sounds incredible, Mr. Thompson. Thank you. You don't know how much this means to us." The busy sounds of the celebration faded slightly. They shared a moment of understanding, each inspired by the other. They were allies now, bound by the threads of creativity and community. Suddenly, laughter erupted as a group of kids began a relay race nearby. Emma was in the thick of it, her smile contagious. "That's my girl." Linda cheered, her heart swelling. Then, the thought slipped in again: her father. Wouldn't he be proud to see this? As the laughter around her swelled, she made a decision. Linda pulled out her phone and took a deep breath. Before scrolling, she sent a quick message to her sister: "I'm planning on visiting Dad soon. I'll keep you posted. Love you." The weight began to lift just by getting it out. Right then and there, she made the mental tie: this moment, the art, the laughter, the joy she felt now was as important as facing the challenges ahead. Finally, she stepped into the heart of the celebration and joined Emma at the cheering crowd. "You're a superstar!" she exclaimed, pulling Emma into a tight hug. "I'm so proud of you." "Thanks, Mom. Together, we can do anything." Emma smiled up at her, glowing brighter than the sun above. With every embrace, every smile that lit up the faces around her, Linda felt the boundaries of fear begin to dissolve. Today was a celebration of art, love, and community, and the spark of hope ignited within her heart felt more than just fragile, it felt vibrant and alive. As the potluck continued, renewed by purpose and strength, Linda stood taller, ready to embrace whatever shadows lurked ahead. This was their moment together, as a family, a community, and a new chapter awaited, bright, colorful, and filled with possibility. And while she knew challenges were still on the horizon, the love and support of their community would help them face them together. As the night wrapped itself around them, adorned with stars that sparkled above, it became clear that the journey ahead would be woven with the same vibrant colors they had brought to life today. It was time for that future to unfold, and remember, folks, if you loved this story of transformation and community, sign up now for more inspiring tales. Hit that like button if this touched your heart, because it makes all the difference. Share this journey with at least 5 friends who need to see how love and creativity transform lives. Don't wait not even one more second. Join us and dive into more stories full of hope, connection, and the beauty of togetherness.